Hi guys, this is Greg Doyle for Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat. It's prediction time. Fight I want to talk to you guys about. It takes place this Saturday. It is on the Warrington Lara card and it is for the vacant British Featherweight Title. It is between Leigh Wood, who is 23-2, and he takes on the undefeated Reece Mould, who is 13-0. Guys, what a cracking little fight this one is. For me, this is the best fight on Saturday. I think when you've got two kids fighting for the British title, there's something special about it. Normally we see a lot of British title fights where there's an expected winner in the fight, etc. But the bookmakers are really struggling to split these two guys. I think they've got Leigh Wood at like 1-2, and I think that Reece Mould is at like 6-4, which there's literally nothing in them odds, especially for a boxing fight, considering most times Canelo fights he's 1-10 and 1-16 to win, etc. But guys, I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to give you a brief background into both guys' most recent fights, and I will then give my keys to victory. Finally, my prediction. Guys, let's start off with Leigh Wood. Leigh Wood, I was a bit surprised when I was looking through Leigh Wood's record today. He jumps out to me as if he's a really experienced guy, and he's fought at a good level, and I was shocked when I seen he's never done 12 rounds before. I don't know why that shocked me. I think when you look that he's been in with guys like Jazza Dickens, he lost a majority decision to Jazza in his last fight. He's got the stoppage win over David Oliver Joyce, stopped him in the 9th round. He's got the win over Ryan Doyle as well, which at the time seemed, again, I think I predicted that fight for Leigh Wood to win that fight. I think that was one of my first videos a few years back. And again, at that time, that was a 50-50 fight. It just seems like he's one of these guys, he's been around for quite a bit now, and it seems to be like, well, you don't really fight Leigh Wood unless you've kind of got to, because I think he's that kind of guy. He's capable of, I don't know if he's capable of a world title, I would probably say no, but I think he's capable of going to European level, especially if he had a couple of good wins behind him and he was allowed to build a bit of momentum. But yeah, I don't know, I was a bit surprised when I seen he hadn't been 12 rounds today, because it seems like he's one of these guys who's just been about forever. But say most recent fights, Jazza Dickens, Ryan Doyle, David Oliver Joyce, he's looked really good in all those fights. I think he just came up against a hungry Jazza Dickens, a really hungry Jazza Dickens, and it was a very, very tight fight, and Jazza got it in a split decision. What I will say though is, in that fight, there was times where I thought Leigh Wood didn't quite look himself, and it could just be that step up in opposition where you can't really dictate and do the things that you want to do. But it was a great fight to watch. I watched that one again this morning. But he takes on Reece Mould, who, as I say, is 13-0. He's a bit of an unknown quantity, Reece Mould. I think I've heard a lot of these whispers in boxing, this kid's going to be good. I read something that Josh Warrington's dad said, that he's going to reach the heights that Warrington has, which is quite a statement to make. Very difficult to get a lot of good footage on Reece Mould. I went back and looked at his fight with Sean Davis today, and I was really, really impressed. The camera wasn't the best, I have to be honest, but I was really impressed with what I seen. His timing seems to be very good. He comes down the stairs very well. I caught that, and I managed to find very small footage of his last fight where he won a routine points victory over Journeyman Ramos, I think his name was. So it's difficult to kind of gauge this fight on Saturday, because people have been out for over a year. Because Reece Mould's never really stepped up, he's never been past 6 rounds before. So, but in saying that, like I said earlier in the video, Leigh Wood has never been past 10 rounds. He's never done 12 rounds. So I suppose it's maybe not, there's not this division first before I started watching both guys that I thought there was today. Keys to victory for me, for Leigh Wood, I think he needs to establish jab. I think that potentially cost him the Jazza Dickens fight. I don't think he established his jab enough in that fight. I think he needs to jab, use a bit of his experience, show that he's been in with serious guys like David Oliver Joyce, who, yeah, David Oliver Joyce was getting on a little bit when they fought, but even like Ryan Doyle, guys who, if you're not firing on all cylinders, you're probably going to be in for a really hard night and potentially losing. He's fought a much higher calibre of fighter than what Reece Mould has, Leigh Wood. So for me, he needs to establish the jab, try and take the fight into the second half as late as possible, and then maybe start working down the stairs and slow Mould down. For Leigh Mould, keys to victory for me is I think he needs to keep firing to Leigh Wood's body. Leigh Wood's 32 now. He's quite tall for the weight by the looks of things, so I can imagine it being quite tough for him to make the weight. I think he needs to do that, and he seems to have a little bit of a dig, Reece Mould, as well. When you fight journeymen early on in your career, especially stubborn ones, it's hard to stop a lot of those guys, but the way that I seen him taking Sean Davis apart, and don't get me wrong, there was times where I thought, oh, kid, you're going to need to get better if you're going to step up. When I seen some of the ways that Sean Davis was landing, but the way he took him out and the way that he put him down in the first round, there's definitely something there. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but there's definitely something there. But guys, over and on to prediction time. You know, people say about going with your gut and things, and I'm going to go with mine on this fight. It's a tough one, because for me, Leigh Wood should win. He should know a little bit too much for Reece Mould, but Reece Mould is younger, he's fresher, he's not had as many miles on the clock, he's got it all to do, and this could just be his coming out party on Saturday. I don't know why my gut is telling me that Reece Mould wins. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, it maybe isn't very professional for these videos. I don't know why my gut's telling me that, but it does. It's telling me Reece Mould is going to win. I think that Leigh Wood might just be getting on a little bit. I don't know how he's going to be after the Jazza Dickens loss, but I just think Reece Mould, I think he wins a tough fight. He could stop Leigh Wood, could surprise us and stop him to the body. But my prediction for this Saturday's British Featherweight Title fight is for Reece Mould to beat Leigh Wood. Guys, Greg Doyle, Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat. Please subscribe to us down below, check out all of our social platforms, and I'll be back to speak to you again soon. Thank you, take care.